Welcome once more, fellow realm walkers, fae, adventurers, and treasure hunters. On this channel, I discuss the factions that design and build the worlds we explore in our games, movies, and stories. If you want to see more of that, hit subscribe. Today, we finish off our Nightingale series by delving into some of the stories that make the world what it is. We'll likely return to the setting once some more updates pop in. As a warning, this video contains spoilers for the story of Nightingale. Alright, let's get into it. The realms of Nightingale are filled with tales of daring and wonder, of both adventure and misadventure. Tales of lost treasures unearthed, of battles won and lost, of lovers reunited, and heroes of great renown. You'll also find tales of heartbreak, vile deeds perpetrated on the unwary, of fallen paragons, justice unserved, revenge left unclaimed, and lights, once bright, now gone out. Prosperity and tragedy are a realm walker's constant companions. Stories are curious things, though, and when you become a part of them, the ending, once written, can always be changed. Do not give in to despair nor revel overmuch in victory, or you'll lose sight of your goal. You have a job to do, to gather friends and allies and return to your home to reclaim it from the bound and from the pale. You'll meet many friends and many foes on the long road ahead. You'll become part of their stories, as they will yours. Each realm you visit has a story to tell, and you'll have to play your part to make the most of what you find. Ready yourself, Realm Walker. It's time for your story to begin. You'll first enter the storied realms. These are places where you'll find lots to do, and plenty of people who need your help. I've discussed these realms in a previous video, which is in the playlist, link in the description below. I'll go over the basics again here. The first of these will be the Abeyance realm, where you'll find all kinds of useful equipment, though you'll have to conquer some challenging terrain and fight your way through enemies to get it. You'll also encounter some friends who will help you, once you free them from the bound outside their refuge. Going inside, you'll find some useful amenities as well, a place to cook some food and a rough bedroll to sleep on. You'll then head to Sylvan's Cradle, where you'll meet some survivors who need your help to cleanse their lands of evil. Next, you'll head to Welkin's Reach, where you'll need to learn to use your ability to glide. The low gravity will be of help. You'll have to find your way into a dungeon to defeat a powerful enemy. Next is the Magwitch Marshes, where you'll have to fight your way through some infested factories and restore power before defeating the evil queen. You'll be given the ability then to travel to Gloriana's Tears to solve a number of puzzles high in the sky and defeat a bound invasion. Then will be the Hallowed Moor, a place where refugees from Nightingale cling to survival. You'll defeat powerful enemies and win back the realm. Then will come the Watch and the Gauntlet realms. These places are full of more survivors, more stories, more puzzles, and more quests for you to do. These places have stories you'll need to discover and learn to make your way through, and it'll all start when you find the first of your allies, and ask them for some directions. When you first make the acquaintance of Graham Turner and Wilhelmina Sass in the Abeyance realm, they'll offer you some wisdom and a few rumors to get you started. Graham Turner is not a member of any of the primary factions in the realms, Druid, Hermetic, NTTC, or Calcularian. He speaks gruffly, but offers you respite, allowing you to use the caves you find here as a place of rest from your adventures. He'll offer you some information and guide you on your first steps. Wilhelmina Sass, on the other hand, is well known to realm walkers, adventurers, refugees, and citizens of Nightingale. She's a journalist and adventurer working with the company. She possesses information on a great number of current events, though she asks for your help with a few more. Asking her for rumors will lead you on a number of adventures through the realms to find more information for her. You'll find yourself returning to her for more rumors as you progress. She always has leads to spare. She'll eventually make you a proposal. She's on the lookout for a particular lawman roaming the realms, chasing his quarry. She asks that you find him and tell her of his whereabouts. You can choose how to handle this. The man seems like he doesn't really want to be found. Bass Reeves can be found in a settlement in the Magwitch Marshes. He's well known throughout the realms as a lawman and realm walker. His aim is steady, and he's always ready to capture his quarry. Bass Reeves is a name known not only in the Fey realms, but in our own as well. He was an accomplished U.S. Marshal, renowned gunfighter, a skilled scout and tracker, and a man capable of surviving on the frontiers of civilization. He was born into slavery in 1838 and successfully escaped. He went on to live to the age of 71. Having had a successful career known for participating in over 4,000 arrests in his time. He'd been involved in several shootouts, never having been injured himself, though there were some close calls, including taking a bullet to the hat, a small sacrifice. His skills as a detective were rivaled only by his skill as a gunfighter, and it's his wisdom in this matter that will most concern us when we meet him in the realms. He'll ask us to arm ourselves with pistol or rifle and set us several tasks, including making some of the most skillful trick shooting we're likely to experience. We'll have to prove we're up to his standards, making a number of both head and heart shots. Learning the weak points of our enemies will make hunting them much easier. Once he's satisfied we know our way around a trigger and that we'll survive in the realms, he'll bid us adieu. He sets out to hunt his quarry, asking that we keep the identity of the fugitive a secret. He knows Sass is snooping around and would prefer that we not tell her, though he probably won't find out if we do. As a matter of honor, I'd as likely not. In Gloriana's Tears, we'll find a number of survivors of a crashed airship. They'll ask us for our help, and we'll have to go looking for missing members of the crew. There's another group also stranded here, and among them is famed adventurer and journalist Nellie Bly. She's the apparent leader of the group of refugees working to rebuild a broken portal that can lead realmwalkers to a place of safety. She needs us to track down some missing parts and speak to a person of note who will be discussed shortly. Nellie Bly is another name known outside of the Fey realms. Her work in our reality has changed the way people see the world. Among her noted accomplishments was a successful trip around the globe in 72 days, in imitation of the fictional Phileas Fogg, a character written by famed author Jules Verne. Nellie's journey was of such significance that it was one of the greatest sensations of her age. She finished her journey in the year 1890, breaking or making a record remembered even today. This came after her incredibly courageous expose of the asylum system, which kept those with medical conditions that were difficult to manage at the time locked away in terrible conditions, often leading to their deaths. Amazingly, she did this by having herself admitted under false pretenses, where she secretly wrote about the horrible conditions she witnessed. This act of courage changed the way the world viewed treatment and medicine for those suffering mental illness forever. Her work was instrumental in helping those without the power to act, those with diminished autonomy in a society with strict hierarchies. Continuing her work to the benefit of others, she's instrumental in helping the refugees from Nightingale find their way home. With our help, the portal will function once more, and we'll be one step closer to our goal. Nellie and the refugees in Gloriana's Tears need some rare and complex pieces of technology to get the portal to the Watch working. She sends us to find an ally of hers, known to be a brilliant scientist and inventor, if a little eccentric. In the hallowed moor, at the top of a high tower rising above the swamp, is a small laboratory filled with scientific equipment. Standing on the balcony overlooking the realm stands a man whose name we know well, from a story written nearly a century ago by the Nightingale reckoning of time. Victor Frankenstein hears us approach and turns to address us. We tell him of our plight, and he asks us about the portal and the efforts of Nellie and the refugees. He contemplates what we've told him and deduces that we'll need a few things that are difficult to find. Victor is deeply interested in studying the mechanical life forms that roam the desert realms, the automatons, their origin, and the magic that animates them. We must find a number of parts from some of these beings, and while there are many ways to get them, he'll be deeply disturbed if he knows that we had to slay the creatures in order to complete the task. Frankenstein is a creator of life, interested in its preservation rather than its destruction. Of course, Victor Frankenstein is best known for his unorthodox experiments with the reanimation of the dead, as written by Mary Shelley between 1816 and 1888, when the book Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus, was published. The creature he created has gone on to great fame and become an icon in the realm of horror. Dubbed a monster, though the creature was much more complex, and whether he was in fact the aggressor or the victim of cruel persecution is much elaborated upon in the story. Regardless, the Doctor is pleased with our findings and directs us to find what we need. His part in our story is short, though without his help, we would surely fail to find our way to the Watch. Another figure of great renown currently living abroad in the realms is one Edgar Allan Poe. Poe is also located in the Hallowed Moor, not far from Frankenstein's tower. But for our diligent exploration, we might never find his hideout, though he's glad when we meet, as he's been living alone and without help for some time. He is in need of some aid, and we'll be glad for the reward should we offer it. He asks that we help him to fortify his tower against attack and build him a writing desk so that he can continue his work. In exchange, he gifts us with the charm of the Raven, which allows us to use the magic of our umbrella to not just glide, but leap and fly upward, greatly aiding our mobility. He presents himself as a haunted man, frightened and mysterious, perhaps not unlike his manner of being in our own world. Poe, I assume, needs little introduction, being responsible for some of the most famous written works of his age, from 1809 to 1849. His dark tales have inspired many works since, his writing deft and his poetry sepulchral. He was always mysterious in life and in death. His story is no different. Poe disappeared for a time before reappearing shortly before passing from the world of the living. The circumstances surrounding his death are the subject of much speculation. I believe it can be assumed that perhaps he found his way to the Fey realms in that time, and we can only hope that we eased what time he spent there before returning to our worlds. Among the items needed for the portal is a metal known only to be in the possession of Giantkin. Giants are territorial, and in particular, the Sun Giant is known to be a terrible foe. In the Hallowed Moor, we'll find Danu, a Grendel of exceptional eloquence for his kind. He's willing to help us if we vow not to harm his kin. The Sun Giant would strike us down quickly if we try and take the ingots of metal we need from him, but there may be a way to resolve the issue peacefully. By presenting him with an item known to be of value to the Giants, he may be willing to trade with us. Danu will tell us of the item we need and teach us how to create it. When we finally meet with the Sun Giant, we can exchange it for the metal we need. In this way, Danu will be happy that we've spared the being. Danu stands many heads above us, though is soft-spoken and kind. He maintains a shack perched on piles above the swamp water. It's filled with furniture amenable to the home life of such a being. Not all the Grendel are so amiable, though. Wandering further through the moor and out into less tamed swamp realms where they make their homes, we'll come across Grendel, Giantkin guarding their territory. They're strong enemies and have at their disposal weapons and magic. We would be best to avoid direct confrontation, if possible. After some adventuring, a strange figure will appear in the Abeyance realm, where our allies have gathered. This is the Bard, Taliesin. Dressed in a tunic of white and purple cloth with a golden mask over his face, he holds a strange instrument in his hands. He'll offer you a series of riddles, the answers to which can be found during your travels in the realms. I'll not make it easy and give the answers, but the quest will take time, patience, and require that you remain observant of your surroundings. He appears mysteriously and gives little account of himself when asked, though observation suggests that he may not be fully human. Like so many characters wandering the realms, he has a counterpart in our own world. Taliesin is likely based on the Welsh poet of the same name, active in the 6th century AD. If our stranger is one and the same, his longevity would suggest a supernatural element to his being. Taliesin the poet has been mentioned in academic works and works of fiction, often called the Chief of Bards, and given his dress and manner of speaking when we meet him, the title's fitting. His riddles are poetic, and if we're able to match his wit, he'll think the better of us. Taliesin talks about stories. Our story in particular. He suggests that he's interested in the way it'll turn out. His very name means something like shining brow, and in our own world, he's said to have sung at the courts of kings. Stories are the backbone of the Fey realms, and Taliesin weaves them masterfully. Though stories are not made in the telling, they're made by courage and action. As we enter the Desert Gauntlet in search of the fabled Sun Giant, we may come across the remains of a fortress in the dunes. It seems that someone has made a camp here. As we approach, we're greeted by a young woman wearing dented plate armor. Battle-weary and tired, she surveys us. This is the famed Joan of Arc, famed for leading troops into battle. Times have changed, and instead of swords and pikes, she seeks to equip her knights with guns and ammunition. Joan is in need of help. She's trying to build a training camp in the ruined fortress where she can raise her army of Red Cross knights to fight against the Bound. We can help her by bringing supplies and creating structures and workshops in what's left of the fortification. We may also have to fight some waves of Bound, who are on the offensive. When aren't they? She'll ask us to provide weapons and ammunition for her garrison, and then task us with hunting a dangerous creature called the Humbaba, a spirit once benevolent, now infected by evil. The fight's difficult, but with skill and courage we manage the task. She gives us the knowledge to make a set of Red Cross armor, a useful thing to have when facing enemies prowling the realms. Joan of Arc seems to be displaced a good 400 or more years into the future, given the reckoning of time in the realms, though her story is well known in our own world, even today. She's been recognized as the patron saint of France and is famous for fighting in the Siege of Orleans, 1428 to 1429. Her crusade against the Bound will no doubt save many once her army is ready to march. Once you've helped Nellie Bly and the refugees, you'll be able to open the portal and be given the honor of being the first to step through. A dubious honor, perhaps, in case things have gone awry, but best not to think about it as you delve into the swirling vortex. If all has gone well, you'll find yourself standing on a bridge made from finely carved stone. Towering structures of white and gold rise around you, and mountainous cliffs descend out of sight in every direction. You found the Watch, the last bastion of safety for what remains of humanity. It's built in an ancient fortress, long abandoned by the Fae and protected by powerful wards. Inside, you'll find many important figures, but none perhaps more important than the apparent leader of this band of humans. In his office, on the second floor of the tower, you'll find Alan Quartermain, about whom you will have by now heard so much. His reputation is legendary, and he's very glad to hear that his old friend Nellie Bly has survived in the realms. He'll give you some wisdom and send you on several quests, which will ready you for what's to come. Quatermain is a character of high repute. His story is told in the writings of H. Rider Haggard, as published in 1885 and 1887 respectively. Quatermain is a big game hunter, adventurer, and trader living in South Africa. His adventures have taken him to many strange places, and he has many stories to tell. Nocturnal by nature and preferring the wilds to being cooped up in cities and forts, he no doubt chafes at being stuck hiding in this tower. His final task for us involves obtaining a special device with which we can open the way back to Nightingale. It's finally time to return to our home and push back the invading forces. Once our transept portal is complete, no easy task, and one requiring a lot of rare materials and parts, we can open it up and make our way into Nightingale City. We find ourselves in a large and well-appointed building, a library, perhaps located in Queen's Bray. Before us stands a woman whose reputation and name are well known to us. There stands Ada Lovelace, famed mathematician and writer. Her work on the analytical engine paved the way for future discoveries in calculation, as well as many other important functions of computing. She, the daughter of one of Earth's most famous poets, directs us on our next steps. Bound have infested the city, and there are survivors in need of aid. We know how to handle this. The realms have given us practice. Ada Lovelace was a genius. She'd known many scientists and creative thinkers of the period, including Charles Babbage, Michael Faraday, and Charles Dickens. She helped Babbage develop his designs for an analytical engine which, while never completed in its time, would have been a forerunner to modern computing. She was fascinated with the human brain and sought to model patterns of thought. In Nightingale, Ada Lovelace is responsible for building the calcularia into the power that it became prior to the invasion. Her wisdom and intelligence will be of great help to us in the trials ahead of us. We'll need all the help we can get. These are some of the stories we'll encounter in the Fey Realms. There are others, of course, and you'll have to discover them for yourself. You'll not just happen upon these tales, you'll become a part of them. With knowledge, skill, and compassion, you can change the fates, not just of those you help directly, but of the realms and of your people as a whole. The knowledge gained from these friends will give you many advantages and ready you to fight against your enemies. You'll need to learn from them to survive the perils of realm walking. You'll defeat many powerful monsters and brave the dangers of the wilds. You'll use your cunning as much as your strength to solve the problems put before you. You'll delve the deepest dungeons and master forests and deserts in your quest. You'll write your name into the story of the realms. Perhaps your deeds will be worthy of one of Taliesin's songs after all. Whether the people of Nightingale succeed in taking back their home or fall to the Pale, if any are left to remember, your story will be remembered. One thing though, don't fail. Well, those are some of the stories we'll encounter as we travel the realms. We're bidding a fond farewell to the Fey Realms for now, but we'll be back. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate everyone who does, especially if you stick around to the end. If you liked the video, please hit like. And if you're tired of getting lost in endless expanses of magical wildland, hit subscribe. If you have any of your own stories that you want to tell, do so in the comments down below. Oh, and before you go, I want to give a shout out to my patrons who help support the channel. Our $10 patron is Watuki at the artisan level. If you want to get your name in the credits, head on over and sign up. The Patreon link is in the description. You'll get access to an exclusive Discord and some exclusive art and stories that you can use or discuss and contribute to. And remember, skill and knowledge will get you through, but make sure your fashion's up to date. There's no excuse for dressing like a slob in the Fey Realms. Thanks everyone. Bye Internet.